The biggest mistake that I wish I could go back and tell myself is don't work for businesses and brands that you don't believe in.
Welcome back to the podcast where we explore the creator economy and how you can succeed in it. Our guest today is a writer and creator who is self-employed that loves creating videos, writing contemplative non-fiction in their own time, and traveling with her dog. Jenny Johnson, it is a pleasure to have you on the creator landscape. How are you?
Hi, I am thrilled to be talking with you from two different parts of the world. The internet is a cool place.
Very cool. So the listeners will know I'm from down under, around Melbourne in Australia. Where are you from right now, and where have you come from?
Yes, right now I am in Paris, France, where I live with my dog, even though, as you mentioned, we travel a lot, but we come from the great land of Texas.
But what do you think, as a creator, your biggest learning experience or mistake has been inside this vast thing called the creator economy?
The biggest mistake that I wish I could go back and tell myself is don't work for businesses and brands that you don't believe in. Because money talks most definitely, but when you listen to that and you don't listen to yourself, you're betraying your 5-year-old self who started creating videos with their mom's camera. And I don't think that there is any amount of income that can adjust that type of self-respect that I think everyone should have for themselves. So I would say there are businesses and there are people that are looking for the same loves and interests and passions that you have to create things about. And let those people find you, and don't work with businesses that don't align with you as a person.
How do you become discoverable to brands so that they can actually connect with you and start to work with you outside of platforms like Creatorland?
Yeah, this is my favorite question because it aligns with being yourself.
Mhm.
My first brand deal with a business was because I was doing things on my channel that I love to do, and I started using TikTok as for fun as an outlet. And because my dog is a big part of my life, he was in a lot of the videos, and I was talking about things that I cared about. And so, because I think that reflected the passion and the interest that I had in my life. The videos I think performed really well and people engaged with them. That's how the brand found me is, oh, you're the really passionate girl with the dog. And it was like, wow, I really appreciate that my authenticity was met with opportunity. And I think, as I mentioned briefly before, when you are open and honest with yourself, the people looking for you will find you. So that's also not to say that pitching yourself and believing in yourself and creating your own opportunities and doors. 100% believe in that, because I have also worked with businesses and brands that I loved and they didn't find me. But you have to have the confidence and belief in yourself, which is kind of the circle of creating things that you're passionate about, talking about things that you believe in, and moving forward with that on your resume is priceless.
Two things. Uh, the one thing you just said there about authenticity being met with opportunity is like putting really good energy out into the world and being met with that same energy, which I love. I personally manifest things that I want, and I somehow that just comes to me. The second thing is putting yourself out there, just showing up authentically in camera and talking about something that you believe in, genuinely believe in, and that you
Mhm.
want to support. It could be a cause like anything, but then when that brand approaches you, it just feels right. You know what you're attracting. Because
Right.
when you're talking about your belief, it's easier to go, well, if someone comes to you and says, like, I want to do this work with you, you already know what your beliefs are because you're talking
Mhm.
about them on camera. So it's easy to go, yep, that's not for me. That's not for
Yeah.
me. So in terms of showing up every day, creating content is a great way to get in front of these brands. Outside of that, have you had any success with any other strategies like cold emails or any platforms that you're using to do some outreach to get some work with brands?
Cold emails are hard. If you know how to write them, that's important. But I'm such an advocate for being open, like you said, to opportunities and manifesting and praying and believing in yourself. And that kind of comes to self management and self confidence. And there's a really great book by the Harvard Business Review that I recommend to any creator that I know, that it's easy to look at the work that you do as an artist as frivolous, because a lot of the time the society that we live in looks at us as, oh, you're just an actor, or you're just a writer, or what do you like to, what's your real work, and it's like, what I do contributes to the well-being of our society and our economies. So I would say that it's real work, and using yourself as looking at yourself as a business, and running yourself as a business, and managing yourself as a business is so important. You're, as a creator now in 2023, you're a one person film crew. You're the actor, you're the writer, you're the editor a lot of the time. And it's important to respect yourself in that way, and pitch yourself in that way, and treat yourself that way.
And you could label yourself as a specific type of creator, like a UGC creator for your interest. So it could be in wellness, for example. I'm a personal trainer of 7 years. I could say I'm a health and fitness UGC creator. Like, that's a great way to pivot your organic content that you make for yourself and talk about your interests, and then pivot that into the business side. What do you think of that?
It's more important to know what you don't want to create for than it
Mm-hmm.
is what you do want to create for. As I mentioned at the beginning, working with businesses or brands or companies or people that you don't align with, or you don't understand, or you don't want to be a part of that company, even if they pay you really well, even if it's a great opportunity. It's just, I think it's really reflective of who you are as a person. Uh, and like what you can bring to the world. Don't hold yourself back by giving energy to something that there is another person who could probably do a better job at it. So you should go do what only you can do. So asking yourself that, instead of what can I fit myself into, what are the things that I can do, um at least at the beginning, I think really recognizing your interest and then what you don't like, and you're going to find your way. You're going to fall into the right path.
What does creating things scared look like to you? Is that just talking about whatever you want to talk about and not caring about the reaction? How does create things scared look to you?
One of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten about writing, and I've taken it into creation, is talk about what's taboo. Talk about what you are passionate about, what you want to understand, what you want to dissect, and I promise you other people are thinking it too. You're not the only one thinking about why women haven't been able to have bank accounts in America until 1974. You are
Yeah.
not the first person to think about that. You're not the first person to think about, that's politics, but about something I speak on is body image and my previous eating disorder. I've talked about things like guilt with my dog, or like leaving my dog alone, or moving across the world, or healing generational trauma, or religious differences and things that I'm contemplating. Like, you are probably, in the nicest way, you're not special in that other people are thinking it too. So creating content that is taboo, and that you might feel scared of, is this going to cause a ruckus? I hope it does. I hope that it does. And there are going to be people that disagree with you, but as long as it's coming from a place aimed to be helpful and not harmful, I think that that's how people create change, and creators are the vessels of change.
And with TikTok, I've noticed, well, not even noticed, it's the theme. It's a platform for relatability. People want to feel like they can relate to other people, and they just want to feel heard sometimes. And that's why people are coming to the platform to find, and that's what TikTok is really good at, serving you the content that you want to see. so you
Yeah.
can find the people that you can relate to and continue to engage with them. And I think that's a real big upside to the
Mhm.
platform.
And I think that the internet is a really beautiful platform for a lot of people that can feel stuck in their reality, especially if you're younger and you feel like I don't fit into my hometown, or I'm in a really toxic situation with a spouse or family, or I don't have the resources to create full time, or this little phone that you have is a little magic machine. And people need people. We need Technikainen. We need the connection of one another. And when you are fully yourself and you can feel fully known by other people, it's uh it's a really beautiful thing.
It is incredibly beautiful to feel like you belong. Completely agree. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to get your thoughts on the creator economy. Where do you see content creators being viewed in 1 year from now? How are they starting to be perceived? And then 5 years from now, or even just further down the road?
From what I have noted from the creators that I've talked to, the businesses that I've worked with, um, it's going to be my prediction is going to be hyper short form and hyper long form. So like
Mm-hmm.
the medium format, I think is going to kind of X out. And when you think about the things that you do in your everyday life, you can listen to a super long form podcast and be doing something else. So, as much as I'm such a monotasker and I love doing one thing at once, I do think that that might be where it's moving. And then the super short form is the continual TikTok scroll or Instagram scroll or YouTube short scroll. But super short, super long, and I'm really excited to see the growth of YouTube continually. It's still the second biggest search engine in the world, and I think that people are starting to give themselves a little bit more of a permission slip to create on there, as award shows and the gatekeepers in Hollywood and in places like that. You don't really need permission to create things and make really awesome stories. So I'm excited to see creators make things unhinged.
Couldn't agree more, Jenny. It's been a real pleasure to hear your story, dive deep into all things your content, user engagement, UGC, authenticity. I thought there's things that I actually want to say thank you for that I can't even remember because that's how many awesome things we talked about. I just want to say thank you on behalf of creators and creative professionals listening to this who may have found some inspiration for their content creation journey along the way. And then thank you to the creators and anyone else listening to this podcast. Really excited to connect with you all on Creatorland if you haven't already made a platform there. And we'll catch you somewhere in the creator landscape. Jenny, thank you once again.
Thank you, Jake.